Welcome back to St. Louis Presents. We have with us Chris Robinson of R3 Coaching and John Maxwell, coaching and training and speaking. Welcome.
Hey, great. Glad to be here today.
So let me ask you, for those of you who don't know, I mean, John Maxwell is like the godfather of the topic of leadership, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
And, how did you come about aligning yourself with that?
Well, for many years, John was asked, to put together some type of program where he would certify other coaches and speakers and trainers to go out and teach his methods. He's been teaching on leadership for over 40 years, written over 72 books, and last year, it was about a year and a half ago, for the first time they offered certification through him. And so he's actually teaching and his methods and what he's written about for over 40 years. And I had an opportunity to join that organization, and it was a perfect alignment with what I believed, and the core values were there. And so from that point, it's just been exactly what I needed and been a great asset for me.
We just last week had a guest on from Slate, and a lot of times we talk about the jobs that are available in the city, and there's some really good jobs. And there's so many people competing, and I think people forget that these soft skills like leadership, of personal leadership and business leadership, are so important when you're trying to distinguish yourself from the pack.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right with that. And when it really boils down to it, actually in John Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, there's a law called the Law of the Lid, which says that a person's ability is their leadership ability determines their overall effectiveness. So if a person can increase their leadership ability, they can increase their overall effectiveness. And so, but it's a skill that we often pick up either just by watching, former managers in the past. We say, well, we like that or we didn't like that. And when I get to the position, I'm going to do it this way. But we never actually really dive in to develop that leadership skill. But when you can do that, you're not only going to impact those that are working with you, but you can impact people beyond them.
And this is something that spans across all industries, all types of businesses.
Right.
But what do you think is the number one message that you try to get across to all the people that you're trying to, send your message out to?
Right. Well, the number one message to get out is that leadership is that everyone's a leader. Okay. Well, we have to redefine leadership, and the way that John defines it is that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. So it's not about a position or a title. It's about the people that you influence or you impact. So you don't need a title in order to get there. But it's backwards in our culture, because Webster's Dictionary, they'll define leadership as a position, office, or place of leadership. You see, but leadership is a choice that you make, not a position that you sit in. And so there's a big difference there when you realize, hey, I don't need a title to lead. And when you can realize that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less, that makes every single person out there a leader, and they can embrace that.
And as Rob just said, that's something that spans everything. Think about our athletes.
Absolutely.
Think, our professional athletes, the ones that we love are the ones that lead.
Yes.
That are great leaders.
Right.
The people in Hollywood, entertainers, people that we look up to, we're looking for that role model, that leadership.
Yeah, we look to them, but what we often overlook is the influence inside the home, the mom, the dad, the brother, the sister. Even though they don't have a title, position, or they're out there in front on TV or anything like that, they have influence over people. I mean, you think about it today, we live in a society with like a Facebook and Twitter. The average person has, 130 friends, if not more at this point. And you can put out a simple post, and yet somebody will go and do something. And what is that? That's leadership. That's influence.
Man, I only have 13 friends on Facebook.
Man. Well,
I'm just playing. No, my question was to you. Do you feel like when talking about leadership, you guys are reaching out to your message reaches out to more people who are just natural born leaders, or folks who don't realize that they possess that leadership quality? Right.
Well, I think it reaches that entire span, because leadership for the most part is a learnable skill. There is some natural ability that people have, but you can learn leadership. And that's why one of the main courses that I teach is the 21 Laws of Leadership, because that's really the foundation. These 21 laws are tested, tried principles that if you utilize them and if you get well at them, you're going to lead well. If you don't, well, you won't.
Yeah. And how do you see that, how are you getting them, how can you teach people that? Give us just one. Give it just one.
Okay. Well, we'll go back to the Law of the Lid, or we'll go back to the Law of the Picture. The Law of the Picture says that people do what people see, and that your actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
And I think of that of my 3-year-old son. Recently he's been carrying around my wallets. He's been getting a wallet and carrying it around, and you know, he had on a pair of sports shorts one day and he didn't know where to put the wallet. And so I took the wallet and I clipped it right here on the front of his loop, and he looks up at me and he says, "You do it that way?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." But what is that? That's a law of the picture. People do what people see, and your actions speak louder than words.
Wow.
So if you can realize that and know that people are watching you,
Yeah.
whether you think they are or not.
Yeah, that was my Facebook post yesterday, actually.
Oh, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
show
We're not-
rather than tell.
See,
what
she's
you
not
want
one of my
people to
Facebook
know
friends.
and
That's why I didn't get that.
about
No,
you.
now
Now,
people-
you have an event coming.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We have the Fall Forward event. This is the second year doing this event. It's going to be at the Embassy Suites in St. Charles, so just across the river for our St. Louis people. And it's going to be on September 15th from 9 till 2. Got a lot of great speakers. April's going to be emceeing the event.
Yes,
And
we
we got
MC.
Yeah, we got Dwayne Bess, author of The Perpetual Hand, Brian Binkolder, the financial coach, Lethea Owens.
Yeah.
Just incredible group of people, and it's going to be a dynamic event. It's going to benefit the Molitor Medical Fund. 10% of all ticket sales will go to them, plus 100% of all my books and CD sales that day will go towards the Molitor Medical
And if
Fund.
people want to find this information online, how can they do that?
They can do that at fallforwardevent.com.
fallforwardevent.com.
You got it.
Yeah, and if you guys come, I'll be there.
You get to see
emceeing.
April and her new short hairdo. Yeah, okay. Well, Chris, we want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, when we return, we're going to hit the kitchen, and we're going to see what those mussels are